Welcome back to Lakers News Fan Report, Lake Show Nation. Buckle up, because Rob Pelinka just dropped the blueprint for what could be the most critical offseason in Lakers history. After swinging for the fences with the blockbuster midseason trade for Luka Doncic, the Lakers front office now faces a choice: double down on a championship roster built around Doncic and LeBron James, or reset by recouping assets for a future rebuild. According to Pelinka's recent comments, his answer is crystal clear. Los Angeles will do everything in its power right now to assemble the best supporting cast possible. Pelinka left no doubt when he spoke with reporters. The Lakers need a true center, one with the athleticism to finish lobs, the shot-blocking prowess to anchor the paint, and the vertical pop to stretch opposing defenses. It would be great to have a center that was a vertical threat, a lob threat, and someone that could protect the interior defensively, Pelinka said. That triple threat profile is rare in today's NBA, which means the Lakers must get creative in their pursuit. Whether they scour free agency for an under-the-radar defensive big, or target a trade candidate like Robert Williams III, or tackle a sign-and-trade for a vet like Clint Capella, Pelinka's mission is clear: no more soft spots in the paint. But center is just the tip of the iceberg. Pelinka also emphasized the urgent need to fortify the wing defense. Watching the Lakers struggle to contain rising stars like Anthony Edwards during their playoff exit to Minnesota put this weakness on full display. When Doncic and LeBron draw double teams, an established defensive wing must step up to harass ball handlers, rotate seamlessly, and protect the rim. Pelinka stated, "If you can upgrade your defensive core on the perimeter, I think that's going to help." That suggests he has his eye on lockdown perimeter guys, players like Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby, or even a veteran like DeAndre Hunter, who can match up against elite wings night after night. On the offensive end, the Lakers will also explore adding a secondary creator, someone to take pressure off Doncic and James. Whether that's a pick-and-pop sharpshooter like Buddy Hield, a dynamic slashing guard like Dennis Schroeder, or a do-it-all combo wing like Jordan Clarkson, Pelinka knows Clayton Phillips won't cut it. He's reportedly open to embracing younger players if they fit the culture, but not at the expense of proven veterans who can play heavy minutes. With only 2 first-round picks, 2031 and 2032, and a handful of pick swaps, their currency is limited. Pelinka can't mortgage the house. Every asset must count. Which brings us to the question of assets. The Lakers sit on 2 unprotected first-rounders, 2031, 2032, and 5 pick swaps, 2026, 2028, 2030, 2031, 2032. On paper, that sounds like leverage. In reality, teams know those picks won't convey until after years of contending alongside Doncic and James. That limits their trade value. Pelinka is therefore walking a tightrope. He must convince other GMs that one of those first-rounders plus a promising young piece, like Max Christie or Scottie Pippen Jr., is worth the price for a defensive center or lockdown wing. If Pelinka overreaches, the Lakers risk being left with nothing. If he underpays, they'll miss out on critical upgrades. Pelinka's plan hinges on patience and precision. He recently said he's not closing the door on any archetype of center. Whether that's a traditional rim protector or a modern spread big, the key is impact. Likewise, he acknowledged the potential of spread centers that can protect the rim, suggesting he's exploring versatile options like Wendell Carter Jr. or Robin Lopez. Free agency may not yield a perfect solution, so Pelinka is also preparing for the possibility of trade market targets, players like Miles Turner or Jakob Poeltl, who can plug right in. Now let's break down the key scenarios Pelinka will navigate over the next 2 months. Free agency. Splash. If a defensive center like Clint Capella or a two-way wing like Mikal Bridges hits the market, the Lakers will have to decide whether to sign him outright or pursue a sign-and-trade. Signing Capella would cost about $15 to $18 million per year, money that would have to come from trimming the role players on the roster. Pelinka has hinted he's willing to accelerate if the right fit appears, but he'll avoid rash deals that compromise depth. Trade market maneuvers. Should the Lakers target a trade, the leading candidates are likely Robert Williams III of Boston or Miles Turner of Indiana, two players who checked the rim protection box this season. Trading for Williams would require offering at least one future first-round pick plus a mix of rotation players like Davis Bertans and Cam Reddish. Pelinka must weigh whether adding Williams' elite switching defense outweighs the loss of draft equity. Draft night gambits. If Pelinka strikes no gold in free agency or trades, he could instead pivot to drafting a high-upside big man in the late first round, someone like Noah Clowney or Armando Bacot, then stash him overseas or in the G League while the veterans carry the load. This is the long-term blueprint. Invest in developmental projects while maintaining immediate competitiveness. Internal development. Don't sleep on the potential of players like Jackson Hayes or Christian Wood, who already have Lakers Lounge access. Pelinka could opt to roll with their untapped athleticism, freeing up cap space to shore up the wing instead. That approach bets on unlocking hidden potential rather than chasing external options. Beyond roster moves, Pelinka signaled that culture creation will be paramount. He praised Doncic and James for their leadership but stressed the importance of players who buy in and embrace accountability. Expect the Lakers to bring in character-driven pieces, veterans with intangibles who will hold teammates to a higher standard. That could explain interest in proven locker room leaders like Robin Lopez, or even bringing back Dwight Howard on a minimum deal if he proves he's still got gas in the tank and a willingness to mentor younger bigs. And don't overlook coaching. Continuity. Pelinka indicated the Lakers aren't shopping head coaches. Darvin Ham will enter year 2 with a mandate to integrate any new additions seamlessly. That means any trade or signing must fit Ham's system: defensive versatility, pick and roll, IQ, and spacing compatibility. A mismatch here could spell disaster on the court and friction in the locker room. Finally, Pelinka addressed the elephant in the room. What happens if Doncic or James opts out or requests a trade down the line? He reiterated the Lakers' commitment to designing a roster that wins now, but also preserving assets in case the landscape shifts. That hedge, maintaining at least one first-round pick and holding on to core rotation players, reflects a two-pronged strategy. Maximize the current championship window while safeguarding against future uncertainty. Lake Show Nation Rob Pelinka has laid out his off-season playbook, a bold quest to fortify the Lakers' front court, perimeter defense, and leadership DNA, all while juggling limited draft capital and cap space. The stakes couldn't be higher. Will he land the missing center to anchor the paint? Can he secure a wing stopper to lock down the perimeter? Will Doncic and James applaud these moves? Or will Pelinka be forced into a plan B? The answers will emerge over the next few months. But one thing is clear. For a franchise built on deep postseason runs and star-studded lineups, this offseason is make or break. Stay locked into Lakers News Fan Report, where we'll track every whisper, every negotiation, and every final signature as Rob Pelinka attempts to engineer the ultimate championship roster. If you're fired up for every twist and turn of this Lakers offseason saga, smash that like button, hit subscribe to Lakers News Fan Report, and ring that bell right now, because the moves Rob Pelinka makes over the next few months will determine whether our championship window truly opens or slams shut. Let me tell you, as a die-hard Lakers fan, I've never been more optimistic. Rob Pelinka just laid down the gauntlet. He's hunting for a defensive anchor in the paint, a lockdown wing on the perimeter, and a secondary creator to take some of the load off LeBron and Luka. To be honest, that's music to my ears. Finally, a front office that gets it. We all saw the paint get carved up by the Wolves in the playoffs, and no longer can we rely on mere hustle plays and hustle hope. We need a real intimidator under the rim, someone who blocks shots with authority and demands double teams whenever he leaps. Imagine seeing Anthony Davis take a back seat and handing over the lobs to a fresh-faced rookie center with spring in his step, swatting away every driver in the lane. That's the kind of splash we deserve. Now, I know some loudmouth pundits say our draft picks aren't valuable. They'll say, "Who wants a 2031 first-rounder from a contending team?" Screw that noise. Pelinka's sitting on 2 unprotected firsts and 5 pick swaps, and he knows he has enough to sweeten any trade. I'd take a 1 first plus a veteran combo guard package in a heartbeat if it nets me a star defensive big or a multi-tool wing. We're not rebuilding. We're upgrading. And yes, I trust Pelinka to wheel and deal. Remember AD's arrival? That was a coup. He's proven he can package the right assets for a superstar when it matters, and now that he has LeBron and Luka in the fold, there's no excuse to stand pat. Let's talk targets. If I were in Pelinka's shoes, I'd be calling the Sixers on Tobias Harris's availability. He's a sturdy 6'8" forward who can guard 3 positions and knock down the occasional 3. His contract isn't unmanageable, and he's exactly the type of Swiss Army knife defender we need. On the wings, I'm drooling at the thought of landing OG Anunoby. He's the perfect blend of length, IQ, and hustle. Picture him chasing down Kawhi Leonard-type wings in Game 7. It gives me chills. And on the block, my dream is a sign-and-trade for Robert Williams III, the ultimate rim rattler. He'd pair with Davis for a twin tower look, and he can pop out to the 3 in a pinch. Sign me up, but free agency could be equally fruitful. If a guy like Isaiah Hartenstein hits the market, or even someone like Jakob Poeltl walking away. From Utah, Pelinka should pounce. Hartenstein is a lob magnet, a screen setter, and a legitimate deterrent at the rim. He won't break the bank, and he won't eat into our other contracts. And let's not ignore the wings. If Danny Green or PJ Tucker come cheap, they're the heartbeat we need in crunch time. Experience, toughness, and championship DNA? Bring 'em on. I'd rather have role players who know how to win than flashy names with no resume. Now, I get the skeptics. What about cap space? They ask. We might have to waive a couple minimum contracts or trade away an overpaid vet, but so what? I'd clear money for the right pieces. Deep bench players are replaceable. Impact two-way players are the difference between first-round exits and banner-raising nights at Crypto.com Arena. We shouldn't be afraid to rip the Band-Aid off. Meanwhile, our internal guys still deserve a look. Jackson Hayes flashed. Upside in spurts. His athleticism is off the charts, and maybe under J.J. Redick's tutelage he finally learns to set proper picks and hold his ground. I'd give him a lottery extension if he shows up in Summer League with a new motor. Same goes for Austin Reeves. If he continues growing as a pick-and-roll playmaker, he could be the X factor that keeps the second unit humming. But let's be real. Those gambles won't win titles. They're fun stories, but we need slam-dunk upgrades. And while we're at it, let's not forget about the coaching staff. Darvin Ham did a solid job handling a messy season, but Pelinka should bring in a top-flight defensive assistant, someone like Charles Lee or Phil Handy, to sharpen our schemes. If the players we add don't buy in defensively, it's all useless. I want a squad that clogs the lane, rotates like a Swiss watch, and never lets opponents breathe easy. When LeBron and Luka double-team, there should be a rotating wall ready to pounce. Look, this is a watershed moment. The Lakers are stacked with 2 generational talents, but without the right supporting cast, rings stay out of reach. We can't rely on Hollywood hype or bandwagon fans to carry us. We need grit, we need IQ, and we need role players who see purple and gold and know exactly why they're here. I want to wake up on draft day with butterflies in my stomach, knowing that my team isn't going to miss out because someone balked at giving up a pick swap. I want to see every press conference, every mock trade scenario, because this is our moment. So let's ride this wave together. Comment below on who you'd target, center, wing, or backcourt piece, and why. Let's flood social media with "Ye Crew Pelinka Get It Done," and remind the front office that we, the fans, aren't just observers. We're the heartbeat of this franchise. And when that trade is announced, when that free agent signs on the dotted line, you better believe I'll be screaming at the TV, tears of joy streaming down my face. This is Lakers News Fan Report, where we dream big, we demand excellence, and we bleed purple and gold. Stick around, because the next few weeks will be a roller coaster of rumors, negotiations, and, with any luck, historic signings. Until then, stay loud, stay proud, and, as always, stay Lakers.